into this room. I am very impressed that you showed up. Thank you so much for coming. What we're going to do, I see. Yes, airplane it. Quick, quick, quick. Put it back up. We believe in science and pandemics here. There's a filter running on the corner over here. So, what we wanted to do is welcome you to the science track, talk a little bit about what we're going to be doing. If people have questions, we'll probably ignore them. That's what the app is for, people. So,
welcome back. How many of you came last year? How many of you, this is your first year back in the pandemic years? Welcome. Thank you. And thank you very much for masking. We like that a lot.
Keep those inside. So, what I would like to do, first of all, because the science track is an effort of a lot of people pulling together to make this happen. I have a number of volunteers who are hiding in various places. Volunteers, can you stick your hands up and wave so that people can stare at you awkwardly? Without these volunteers and without all the other people pulling this track together, it would not exist. I am incredibly thankful. So what we are going to do is preview some of the things that we do on the science track so that you can have a little bit of a taster between things like, how many of you have gone to Solve for X before? See a couple of hands? Yes. We're going to be doing some PowerPoint karaoke, which is part of what Ray Pendergrass does for Solve for X. Some fans. Oh my gosh, everyone's like, I love PowerPoint. Give me some of those slide decks. Love that. We're going to have scientists talk for 2 minutes. They're going to explain their research in 2 minutes because scientists are very, very concise. So I would like to start. Ray, will you please come up and talk about Solve for X? And then we will force someone to do PowerPoint karaoke.
Great. I love it. I love torturing scientists. Hi, everyone. I am Ray Pendergrass. So I know some of you just raised your hands. It's not school, so I would like, by a round of enthusiastic noise making, who has been to Solve for X before? Much better. Thank you. I haven't been on stage in like 2 years, so I need that. You just keep that coming all weekend, all right? And by round of polite applause, because you have no idea what's going on. Who has no idea what's going on right now? Great, let me explain. So Solve for X is a science-themed variety show in which I take professional creatives, performers, comedians, storytellers, puppeteers, burlesque artists, whatever, and I have them do acts inspired by science, something that terrifies every single one of them. And yet, they still do it. I love it. It's great. And then I also take scientists and I make them do something even more terrifying. That's right, improv comedy. Ooh. And that's a little bit of what we're going to do here today to give you a quick sneak preview. So if you have fun watching this nonsense, then you're gonna love Solve for X, 10 p.m. Saturday, Hilton Grand Ballroom East. I'll see you all there. I know I will. So where are my performers? You're over there. Yeah, no, they're gonna come. They're all gonna come up. We're gonna engage in an ancient warfare. A little geology, psychom, vasectomy. Great. Yes. So 2 of you pair off. Great. And we're gonna, on the count of geology, psychom, vasectomy, go. Ready? All right. Geology, psychom, vasectomy, go. It's okay. It happens to a lot of performers. We're gonna try again. All right. Geology, psychom, vasectomy, go. Yes, psychom beats geology somehow. Great, now you 2 are gonna pair off. All right, are you ready? Yep. Geology, psychom, vasectomy, go. And geology beats vasectomy. I don't understand. I did come up with this. That is science. Great, so are you ready to be to be a volunteer for this next segment? Great. Stephen, can you pull up something to torture our good friend with? And I'm going to come down here and I'm going to ask you, hello, what is your name?
Doug Burby.
Doug what?
Burby.
Burby, all right. And Doug, what are you actually an expert in?
Well, not much. But
Same.
All right, so I'm a retired Army colonel.
Okay.
So now I'm a Department of the Army Program Manager for Electronic and Cyber Warfare.
Great, electronic and cyber warfare. Well, that has nothing to do with any of the PowerPoints Stephen and I have prepared for you, so I'm real excited. So what's about to happen is Doug is going to have to stand here in front of all of you beautiful people and sound authoritative in a subject that Doug knows fuck all about. The Fox News treatment, but like with less racism. So, yeah, you do need to come on. Let's come over here. Hopefully we don't make squeaky noises. Yeah, can you kind of see this? Great. I'm gonna hold on to this slide deck thing. It's called a clicker. And there are numbers in the bottom left corner that should tell you how many slides you have left. There's 5 of them. That's all I'm going to torture you with. I'm a generous and loving Mistress Frizzle. So as soon as Stephen has it pulled up. Oh, you need the clicker. Theater. Great. Awesome. Great. I'm going to hold on to this. I'm going to give you this microphone, though.
Oh, that was a mistake. All right, ladies and gentlemen, healthy habits. Now that we've defeated the damn dirty commie red hordes of Russia here in the Department of the Army, we're going to lay at them. That's right. We are going to take it to the new threat. We haven't figured out who it is yet. It could be the incoming. It could be the theocracy itself. It could be anything, but we are going to let them go. All right, so here's what we got for our team here. We got Team Tiger, and now you forget, man's best friend. So that's our dogs, right? That's a dog-faced soldier out here. We're going to take that to the fight. We all know that the cats and the dirty robots in the space are actually running everything, but it's all about money, right? We get that. That's what I do in the Pentagon. I bring you the cash to bring your dogs of war into the fight. All right. So what we got here is our performance of the dogs of war, right? So we're going to eat that bad boy, but take back, all right? Come back, because it's all about the money, right? So this is where we were fighting the dirty commies. Then the wall fell down. We had nothing to do. Then we had this little stuff for the last 20 years, kind of waste our time. And now we're back down to here, right? So we got to get them dogs of war back hungry again. There we go. We're going to eat it. I don't know if that's chicken or if that's fish, but we're hoping Chick-fil-A signs up as our corporate sponsor, because that'll lower your taxes, and that's what America's all about. There you go. 75% of you laughed and approved, so therefore I will take that to Congress, and I will say, fund it. I'm from the government. I'm here to help. I'll be here all week. Thank you.
Oh, man, I feel so inspired and weirdly patriotic, which is not something I felt in a while. Anyway, hey, Stephen. Are you ready to have this microphone again? Great. You can have it.
I have a microphone. All right. Are you ready to have a scientist talk for 2 minutes about their research? I like how everyone's like, yes? Jeff, you said you didn't need a slide. This man is going to talk about his research all by himself. So we'll just have the cow here as backup. Are you prepared? I need to put 2 minutes on the clock. There's the cow. Oh no. Oh, I have a bell. Absolutely. Is that a spherical cow? When we do approximations, absolutely. Are you prepared? All right.
Hi, my name is Jeff Hubbs. I work in energy systems and climate change research. Back around 2010, when the Deepwater Horizon explosion took place, spilled hundreds of millions of barrels of oil into the Gulf of Mexico. I'd been interested in energy systems for a while. I started asking the internet questions. The conversation went something like, so tell me about this well. Oh, it's a deep water, ultra deep water well. How deep? About a mile. How much farther down into the seafloor? 2 miles. Really? Is this new? No, I've been doing it about a decade. You mean there are more of those out there? Yeah, about 200. Oh my God. And that's when I realized that we were taking more and more risks and expending more and more effort and more money to keep the fossil fuel aspect of our energy system going the way it has. So I decided to stop doing IT work for payday loan companies and consent form software companies. And I decided to put it to work trying to figure out how to get away from fossil fuels in a way that's equitable and environmentally healthy. So that's what I do now. That's how I got here. Thank you very much.
With 30 seconds to spare. Well done. All right, Ray. It's time again. Who are you going to torture next?
Well, they have to engage in combat again, obviously. All right, the two of you who I haven't tortured yet, come on up. We're going to do a little geology psychon vasectomy, I guess. Are you ready? All right, on the count of three. Actually, on the count of, you know how it goes. All right, geology psychon vasectomy, go! Ah, psychon beats geology somehow in my metaphor that's happening right now. All right, are you ready? This doesn't matter if you are, because that's how this game works. Tell me your name.
I'm Brandon Strauss,
And what are you actually good at?
forensic entomology.
Great, that has nothing to do with any of our PowerPoints. Once again, so I'm going to hand over this mic. I'm going to keep this.
What the fuck is C-Stat? I can curse, right? I can curse? Okay, cool. I'm from Philly. I'm going to curse. So, we have seasteading, contracts for governing services and the consensual constitution. I feel like this should have been yours. So we see ahead that space is the new sea, and we have to create government contracts to grow fish in space because we don't know what's in the ocean, and that's scary. So let's move up north. So our founding fathers had said that people in corsets should go to space to grow fish. It's actually in the Constitution, if you didn't know that. Here we see one prepping an ye old astronaut to go up in a wooden ship to grow fish. And see, this is why we're moving to space to grow fish, because the oceans are declining in level because of Godzilla and other large kaijus that are being awakened by climate change. Gamma is a real problem. Turtles eat thousands of pounds of fish every year. Thomas Paine actually famously said, send them to space to fish and you will feed society forever. Teach a man to fish in space, you've taught him forever. And then this is actually what the rockets are gonna look like. No fucking aerodynamics at all. Just send them up there. The fish from space actually go in the bottom, and then you can just grab them with your hands, bear style. And yeah, there we go.
You know, that's actually science, though, because kaiju displace a lot of water, and when they get out of the water, then the water level shrinks, and it's been a problem. As a corset wearer, I know, because I had they told me in my astronaut training. Here's your microphone.
Thank you very much. Let's give Brandon another round of applause, because that's terrifying. All right. Scott, are you ready to talk science? That's the kind of enthusiastic consent we're looking for here.
My enthusiasm is a little taken aback here. I'm not sure how geology keeps losing every time up here. It's not setting. I guess I can look at the slide, can I? See, yeah, go. You got the preview first. So, yeah, my name's Scott Harris. I am a planetary geologist and also the interim director of a planetarium that doesn't exist yet, but we're building one in Charleston. And but my research is dealing with things like comets 12,000 years ago blowing up over Chile and bathing over 100 kilometers in searing heat, hotter than the surface of the sun, and melting everything. We also have actual impacts that don't blow up above the surface and create craters and all kinds of glass as well in Argentina. I spent a lot of time doing that, including some that has little bits and pieces of the thing that hit, which is one of the unique ones is from a planet that existed before Earth did. That's the source of the meteorites called angrites. And closer to home, back about 35.5 million years ago, we had this thing up in Virginia hit and create a big crater. If you'd been here, you'd been dead. And, well, I mean, this is truth. Recently, we found a new deposit of ejecta from that up in North Carolina I'm working on, including some industrial-looking carbon, except there was no industry back 35 million years ago that we know of. So either we've discovered 35.5 million year old industry, or we have a very unique type of glass that is completely carbon. And closer to home, a little bit before that, there's evidence of another impact that has basically threw a bunch of sponges onto the coast of Georgia and South Carolina, and we're still working out the details of that. But the one I'm really excited about, been working on for about 15 years, and finally going to get it published sometime this year, is here in Georgia. We will proudly have the 5th largest impact crater in the world, 800 million years old, down about 50 miles south of here, going all the way from I-75 to Opelika, Alabama. And it's kind of more than unique than that, because this one coincides with that big bright Copernicus up on the moon you see every night. And to end, you know, that's what it's all about right there: death, destruction, and doom. And that's my theme every year I'm here, so thank you for letting me continue that.
Thank you so much. Death, destruction, and doom. All right. So is he going to have to battle himself to decide if he gets to go next?
You know what? No, we're gonna battle, and it's. I feel you. I feel like geology should win one of these. So, you know, come on, we're gonna theater it a little bit. All right, just do a vasectomy. I feel like I'm saying this a lot lately, but just do vasectomy. All right, geology, like a vasectomy, go. Geology wins. Wait, that means I go. No, I'm gonna defer my turn to you. What's your name?
Charlie Kaufman.
All right, Charlie, and what are you actually good at?
I do emergency management work, and I study geographic information computer mapping.
Great. None of that has anything to do with the slideshow we have prepared for you. Spoiler, spoiler, spoiler. Are you ready? It doesn't matter. Are you all ready, audience? Great. Last one. Let's go.
Look up. That would have been real exciting. Oh, good. Snakes. No, a dead snake is not a good snake. So we have, talk about snakes, we have keeled and smooth. That is for your racing snakes out in the water. Obviously, keeled snakes handle the currents a lot better than the smooth ones. They tend to tip over in rough seas. Venomous and non-venomous. The non-venomous snakes are fun to pet. The venomous snakes are less so. Sense of smell, they like to stick their tongue out and go, wow, that smells bad. That's usually what happens after Dragon Con on day 4. They're just slithery. They're not slimy. They're slithery. They like to slither. They like to scoot around. Actually makes it a lot better. A lot of these are, well, they get slimy and what the hell. I like those. I have a deal with snakes. I don't mess with them. They don't mess with me. It's where it works very well. Slithery and potentially dangerous. All snakes are potentially dangerous. That's very easy. Don't get bit. Don't pick them up. Don't like them. Thank you.
I hear that if you just avoid the bitey end, you're good. That's what I've been told by scientists. I'll give you the mic back. Come to Sulphur X Saturday, 10 p.m., Hilton Grand Ballroom East. If you liked this, you'll love that show. If you didn't like this, you'll probably still like that show, because there's other stuff that we do. Here you go.
Thank you very much. Round of applause for all of our slideshow karaoke performers, because that is terrifying. All right, let's do some more science talking. Hey, Danielle Lee, you just got here. You should come talk about mice.
How y'all doing? I have no idea what's going to show up. I mean, I know I sent him something. So, is this better? Okay, I only got 2 minutes. All right, so I study nuisance rodents over environmental gradients. Why does this matter? Because you can't name even yourself, someone you know, don't know. There hasn't been a single human culture across space, place, time, or culture that has never had to deal with nuisance rodents, ever. So I essentially do the scientific study of city mouse and country mouse, but over both large rats. So you see that little fellow on my shoulder? That's a juvenile pouch rat. So that amazing species that I study in Tanzania, Africa, has been successfully trained to detect tuberculosis and landmines. But locally, when they're not saving the world, they're vexing people by getting into their pantries and yards and taking their crops and stuffing them under their burrows and hiding them and forgetting that they exist, and then random plants grow in the middle of their crops. And then it starts all over again. And then here locally in the States, I study field mice. So any mouse is in a field. is a field mouse. And I study them. We can see, so here's what's interesting. Species of mice can successfully live across an entire continuum. And I see, hello there, squeak, 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 squeak. Yes. They can live successfully everywhere across a range of habitats and environmental gradients. And so I'm just curious to know, like, what makes them so good at making a living? Like, why are they so good at doing a little bit of everything? They're generalists, that's the short answer. But I want to know the specifics of that. So that's it. In even less than 2 minutes.
1 minute 30. Again, amazing. All right, Eris. Eris, did you? Oh, there you are. I didn't write. You're like in costume in business.
Nobody's going to recognize me tomorrow either. It's my magic trick. Anyways, hi, I'm Eris. I recently finished my master's degree over at Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Yay! So we're going to talk about my thesis. I'm a big bird nerd. I'm actually a professional animal trainer, so I really like birds. And in one of my classes, we were talking about birds are really weird because they're really bad at polyploidy, but they're really good at hybridization, which is unusual. Usually that's not true. So I was like, wow, I wonder if there's any interesting global patterns in that. So I made a bunch of supercomputers think really hard about birds. Apologies to the guy in charge of the cluster. I'm really bad at coding. Anyways, I made a whole bunch of maps. I can only fit 2 of them on this slide, so you'll just have to believe me about all the other ones. But this is the most exciting pair, so this is the one we're looking at. So right here we have avian species richness, where you have the dark places, there's lots of birds. And over here we have avian hybrid richness. You'll notice they're kind of opposite, which is sort of what we expect. Usually the traditional thinking is that hybrids are bad for biodiversity, so where you have a lot of hybrids, you'll have low biodiversity. But there's also a couple places on this map where that's super not true. That's basically the opposite of true, which is kind of interesting because that suggests that our traditional thinking is wrong. Which also might explain why there's tons of bird hybrids, even if theoretically if it was bad for birds, they wouldn't do it. So the other thing, I don't have a map, so you just have to believe me about this one. It's not up here, I couldn't fit it. Is it turns out that people are really worried about introduced species hybridizing. Turns out that doesn't happen a whole lot. It does every once in a while, but mostly if you're seeing introduced species hybridizing, they're hybridizing with species they already hybridized with elsewhere, so it's not really a new thing. Yeah, that's my research in a nutshell.
Well done. Thank you very much. I believe our last speaker is Vaughn James. Coming out from behind the board. All right, are you ready for your slide?
Good evening. My name is Vaughn James. I am a doctoral candidate at the University of Florida. I am defending my dissertation this semester. God help me. It's awful. I'm in pain and I'm dying. But what am I defending my dissertation in? Well, interestingly, all of you, all of this, me, Stephen, this thing, this con, I study science communication. I engage in the formal scientific inquiry of what it means to talk about science. So a lot of people don't know much about communication science. And so the basic idea behind it is this. It is asking the main question of who says what, to whom, through what channel, and to what effect. And so I apply that to the concept of science itself. And because I am a great big nerd, as you can tell, because I am here amongst other great big nerds, I study pop culture as a venue of science communication. Even more specifically, I study pop culture conventions, such as this, as venues of science communication. And I try to look at what happens to a person when they encounter science in an environment like this. If you go to a science museum, you probably expect to see science there. Go to a pop culture con, and maybe you don't. So what does that do to a person? Which leads to the most drilled down part of my research. I study a concept known as science identity. So it doesn't really have much to do with what you know about science. Interestingly, we've shown over and over again that what you know actually about science tends to not influence your opinions so much. But what can influence your opinions is how you relate to the concept of science and scientists, and that is science identity. And so that is why I am here. Does it work? Don't know. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. We do what we can. Do I have a few more minutes? Oh, minutes. Seconds. I'm out of time. I'm doing a study during one of our panels. Please come to the Tending the Tree of Life panel if you want to participate in a science communication study.
Thank you so much, Vaughn. So, how many of you have never been to a science track event other than this one? Put your hand down, Mr. Volunteer. Welcome. We're so glad you're here. We are chaos geese. We love science, and we love chaos, and we love fun, and this is sort of what we are, just a giant katamari of people who enjoy science, rolling downhill and scooping up other people who enjoy science. We're so glad that you're here. I hope that you have enjoyed a little bit of a foretaste of this. We've got science people who are going to be hanging around. I have one last thing to show you. How many of you have ever experienced science versus movies? So, along with Solve for X on Saturday, on Sunday we do Science versus Movies, in which I force science people and science communicators to watch clips of movies and explain why the science in them is 100% correct. You have never seen paleontologists slap a bell to try to get out of that so fast. You've also never seen good friend explaining how you would clicker train velociraptors like middle schoolers. So, I happen to have all of the clips. I would be willing to show one of them if I can make this work. Some of the people here are going to be on that panel. Just pretend to just like neuralize or flash so that you don't remember. But this is the kind of science that I try to get people to explain. Let's see if the sound works. That'll be fun. Oh, I need a plug.
Yeah, you gotta plug in the other thing.
I have to plug in the other thing. This is where I get to figure out where my headphone jack is. Oh no! I moved the cursed cable. All right. I sense a problem. All right, let's see.
Need you to be our eyes out there. Can you haul that camera on foot?
I've got a better idea. This camera already projects the right wavelength of UV light. If I can turn it inside out, by reversing the polarity of some of the components, I might be able to turn it from the camera into a searchlight.
Some of the people in this room are going to have to explain why that's correct. On behalf of the science track, thank you all so much for coming. I hope you enjoy our many science adventures we're going to have this weekend. We will be having a wrap-up panel on Monday for those of you who are awake and still here. We would love to hear your thoughts about how it went, but thank you so much for coming and kicking this. Oh, yes, please. No, come explain.
All right, on Monday, hi, it's me again. You're never going to get rid of me this entire weekend. You're welcome. So on Monday, I'm going to be torturing some scientists some more. Yes, oh yes, it's a lot of them. With a panel called Calculations You're Sad We're Doing. And I want you all to think of calculations that our scientists really don't want to do, such as like how many Jell-O shots would fit in the stomach of a blue whale. Things like that, all of your burning questions. And we have a space where you can write down these questions and put them in a bucket of some sort. And I will on Sunday afternoon crawl through all of your weird questions and find which ones I would like to torture the scientists with. So please help me torture scientists, please. That's all I ask.
Thank you very much. Final note, if you would like to advertise the science track, we have ribbons. We have DragonCon standard ribbons, And then we have gay goose honking ribbons. Look inside your heart and decide which, if not both, of those you would like. Thank you so much for coming. I hope you have a good start of the con, and may it be filled with many brass bands that are filling the lobby of the Hilton and playing very loudly. Thank you so much. Go fill out questions.